If you were a millionaire or a billionaire, definitely if you're a billionaire, you probably did really bad things to become a billionaire. This idea of you work hard, you'll make money is absolute bullshit. I'm known as being Coupon Carrie by a bunch of friends. I check the PetSmart dumpsters and the Petco dumpsters. I'm a rich person because I am. My name's Carrie and I'm from Syracuse, New York, 37. I organize for people. I clean, technically an entrepreneur, but it allows me flexibility to do foster care, which is my main focus right now. Do you have rent or a mortgage? I am extremely lucky to not have a mortgage or have to pay rent. I bought my current house, which is my fourth one, with cash from the sales of my previous house. Long story short, first house, I had a mortgage. I sold that before COVID hit, thankfully, because I would have ended up not being able to likely afford my mortgage. Got my next house, paid cash $40,000, which was very low. It was basically a one level, had a basement, but not livable. And then I fixed that up because I'm a fan of living in a house, even though it's functional. Third house, used the profit from the second house, so that was mortgage free as well. And flipped that house. It was a good amount of work, but it was worth it because I made $80,000 profit, and then took the cash, put it into the current house, which cost $116,000, and I'm still fixing it up using a lot of sweat equity. And by the time I'm done with it, it'll be valued around like $200,000, if not more. Do you have an emergency fund? I would say yes, I do. I have $32,000 right now in my bank account, so that can be used at any point if need be. How much do you have in your savings account? A little over $6,000 in a traditional IRA account, and then I have $3,000 in a CD that will mature. How much do you have towards retirement? I unfortunately do not right now. At what age do you expect to retire? I can't imagine not working in some capacity, certainly on a part-time scale, but it would be really nice to retire at 60 as opposed to what a lot of politicians are pushing for, which is 70, which is insane. Do you wish you started sooner? Not necessarily. I think it's unrealistic. A lot of people are unfortunately living paycheck to paycheck. That is our society. We live in a very renter society. Cost of living is not realistic to what people are making. So I just don't think it's realistic for younger people in their 20s, mid-20s to even start thinking about retirement. So how much I make a year definitely fluctuates. And then I tend to clean and organize for people. But that's depends on my clients when they need me. So it really, really fluctuates. I would say currently doing foster care, it's truly just a business, to be frank. With the foster care industry, you can make $68 a day. That's not taxed. That is used as a stipend, obviously for food, clothing, shelter, increase in utilities. So if you are frugal, you can whip out your coupons. If you're taking on a kiddo full-time, $68 a day, and you're doing a good job, you're making sure that they're doing well emotionally, mentally, physically, which you should be doing as a foster parent and not just using them as a cash cow. And unfortunately, I've met foster parents that do that. There's a really good saying that every child deserves a parent, not every parent deserves a child. $68 a day then comes up to about $24,000 in the year, which is certainly not bad if you are like, okay, that gives me the means to not leave my house. I'm going to be frugal. I'm going to focus on the kid. I'm going to work a part-time job and make sure that they still get to their doctor's appointments, therapy appointments, XYZ. It is quite difficult to work a full-time job and be a full-time foster parent. So right now I am doing fostering and part-time job. So currently I would say I could make about 26 to 30,000 in the year. So I'm very lucky. My rent and mortgage is 0. My current house, I bought, no one else wanted it. It was a complete mess inside, and it had been empty for, I believe, 6 years. Transportation, I would say it ranges from 50 to 100 in gas. Clothing, I'm trying not to buy any clothes, but I would say maybe $20 a month. Debt is that student loan. Insurance, I think it's somewhere around 200 to 300. Groceries, I would say, is around 200, but then that would go into eating out a bunch. And I would say I probably spend like 80 to 100 a month on food. Medical, I'm very lucky right now. I do have Medicaid subscriptions. I use my friends' savings. There's the $6,000 in the IRA account and $3,000 in that CD. Okay, so it should be around 2,300. I think overall I'm doing okay. I'm not rolling in money by any means, but if I wanted to go on a vacation, I could. So I'm pretty lucky overall. Do you have a budget? I do not use spreadsheets or a notebook or apps. I am painfully frugal, hence doing a lot of the work myself because I am physically capable of doing that work myself on my own house. I'm known as being coupon Carrie by a bunch of friends. If I'm going somewhere, most of the time I have a coupon. That's how I'm able to afford a lot of my life without having to cook up a big meal. Especially if I have a foster kiddo over. What is the best piece of financial advice you can give? Not a fan of giving advice, but I would say be frugal. My mentality is if I only want it and I don't need it, genuinely, truly need it in that moment, I don't need to buy it. So if it's just a want of, oh, that sweater is really nice, it's $20. Okay, but then you have to, not you, but I tend to rationalize, okay, I have a ton of sweaters. I don't need another sweater just because I want it. But if something costs $20, I'll be like, okay, this costs a little under an hour of my life based on my rate that I set. That's how I link spending money, how much time it took me to create that money and earn it. And then if I'm just spending it really quickly for no reason on something I don't need, eventually that does kind of stick in my head and annoy me because it could have been used towards something else. I have 3 dogs and a cat. Little girl, the cat, she's great. She's also a brat, but she puts up with 3 dogs, so bravo. The beagle, she's 10. Her name is Zoph. Clifford, he's my big red dog. American Bulldog mix. She is named Athena. She used to be really destructive. And then after getting her fixed, she's mellowed out a lot. And I want to touch on that because I used a shelter program. They were out of Cortland, so it was well worth the 45-minute drive to bring her there because she was $140 to be spayed when numerous other vets were telling me it would be close to $1,000. Do your research, get on waiting lists, try to reach out to clinics for that spay and neutering. I check the PetSmart dumpsters and the Petco dumpsters, and every month, I would say, they throw out Blue Buffalo, expensive dog food, expensive stuff. And I was pulling out bags of dog food and canned food and treats and stuff like that. Each bag of food is like $60 to $80. I ended up having to give away a lot of food. So I think I've donated like close to $1,000 to the SPCA by bringing them all this extra food that I could not keep in my house. Shelters will take open bags of food. So I've had shelters be thrilled when I pull up and I'm giving them 5 big bags of food. You gotta be smart and look at the food, make sure that it's good, or check any recalls be smart. That is certainly how I save money. How do you define rich? I don't think money is everything. I think it's definitely a mindset and truly not just about monetary value. Because as we all know, you can be a billionaire or a millionaire and you can be an absolute asshole. If you're a millionaire or a billionaire, definitely if you're a billionaire, you probably did really bad things to become a billionaire. And I think certainly the younger generation is aware of that. I think the older generation definitely has this mentality of money is everything. And I think the younger generation is figuring out rich means more of a work-life balance, being content internally, maybe being emotionally stable, mentally stable. That, I think those are fantastic things. So I think being rich is definitely about how you are also doing internally. Like, I think I'm a good person at the end of the day. I think my friends know that if they need something, they can call or text me and I will try to make it happen within my means. And I think I'm a rich person because I am reliable and consistent. Do you think anyone can get rich? I think it's definitely a gimmick. And as George Carlin said, you have to be asleep to achieve the American dream. You have to be unconscious. This idea of you work hard, and you'll make money is absolute bullshit. You can work 5 part-time jobs at one go, which is what I did for over a year. And I think I only made like $25,000 that year. So no, it's not just about working hard. It's not just about your ability. It's not just about your drive and ambition. A lot of it is connections. A lot of it is a company may be willing to take a chance on you. I definitely think it's hard to get rich. Why did you want to come on the show? So I wanted people to know that there are resources out there available for them in order to save money, such as energy savers. I've used them on my last 3 houses. For $1,200, they have given me a furnace, a water heater, and insulated the houses. Usually that's like a $50,000 job right there. For $1,200, I was able to get all of that done consistently on the last 3 houses. And they're a very nice company that has saved me thousands of dollars. So many thousands of dollars. The other reason why I wanted to come onto the show is I wanted people to know about first-time home buyers. I didn't get to use first-time home buyers because I was really quick and wanted to get out. I wish I had known about first-time home buyers because it's like a contract. You talk to a bank, you put in a certain amount of money per month, and then the bank like matches it. So you save on all the closing costs, you save on all the fees, you save on the inspection, you save thousands of dollars. And I wish that I had done that. When it comes to finances, I think people just don't know that there are more resources out there than they really realize. Save when you can, which is obviously very difficult when you're living paycheck to paycheck. When you can, check in with yourself, see what your goals are. If your goals are to eventually have a couple $1,000s as your safety net, aim for that. There are also free financial advisors. That goes back to do research, look around, see if there's anything that is available for anyone to use.